Hey there, I'm Chris from Intro Games. This is a quick look at Secret Recipe, a logic and deduction game with a bit of luck and deception for 2 to 6 players. It takes 20 to 30 minutes to play and is for players 8 and up. Players are all siblings and you're all at Grandma's house. She's just made a batch of her world-famous chili and naturally you all want her secret recipe. She says she'll give it to the first person who can figure out which 5 ingredients she uses. Whoever can figure out the secret recipe first will get to brag about it at family get-togethers for years to come. To set up, we're going to give each player a dry erase player board like this, a marker, and a reference card like this. In this tabletop simulator version, instead of marking on the board, I'm just asking players to use these cubes here to mark things on the player board. In the real-world version, you just mark things with X's, question marks, and circles. The exact setup is in the rules, but what's worth knowing right now is that you end up with 5 ingredients, 1 of each taste and 1 of each color, and this is done through some clever use of envelopes. The rest of the cards are going to be put in decks for each taste in the middle of the table. Each ingredient card is unique, so if it's in your hand, if you've seen it in your hand, it cannot be in the secret recipe. So everyone has drawn 2 cards. And I have black beans, a black savory ingredient. So I know black beans cannot be in the secret recipe. And I have onion, which is a white secret ingredient. So I know onions cannot be in the secret recipe. So there are 5 tastes in the game: savory, secret, spicy, strong, and sweet. And there are 5 colors: red, green, brown, white, and black. There are also 4 types of food. We have beans, vegetables, seasonings, and meats. And we can use any of these when it comes time to ask questions and listen for answers and otherwise deduce the puzzle of the game. The player who most recently ate something spicy starts. On your turn, you're going to ask one player at the table a yes or no question about the cards in their hand, hear their answer, and then draw a card. Questions can reference any part of the ingredient, such as its color, taste, or type. And while questions can be deceptive or used to bluff, your answers must be 100% truthful. So, for example, I see the red player here has 2 savory cards in their hand. And this is a great opportunity to learn something about savory. So I might ask, red, are both of the savory cards in your hand beans? And the red player would say yes or no. Both of my cards are beans or they're not. And hopefully I can learn something from that. I could also ask a question like, do you have basil in your hand? Or do you have a meat in your hand? And as I'm thinking about what question to ask, I'm basically trying to formulate a question that will give me more information than other players. In any case, after I ask a question, I will come up here and I will take a card of my choice into my hand, and my turn is done. Questions and answers are both spoken aloud so everyone can hear. Even when it's not your turn, you might be able to infer something. As you learn more info, you're going to keep track of all this information on your player board. And what's important is that people are always asking about the cards in your hand, never from the information on your player board. If you've seen an ingredient, again, you can put the red cube on it or cross it out since it can't be in the secret recipe. So let's say that I've deduced that chilies are the secret ingredient in the secret recipe. So I would put a green cube out or a circle in the real world version. And because there can only be 1 of each taste of food and 1 of each color, I can safely eliminate the rest of that column and the rest of that row. It's a little bit like filling in a Sudoku puzzle or a logic puzzle. It kind of scratches that same itch, and it also really helps to narrow things down for the rest of the puzzle. The game can end at any time. Any player can say, I know it, even when it's not their turn. The player that says they know it becomes the announcer. They lock in their guesses on their player board, and then they secretly look at all 5 cards in the secret ingredient. If they got all 5 guesses right, they win. Reveal the secret recipe and your player board, then revel in your victory. If you got even 1 wrong, you cannot win. These cards go back face down on the table, and then everyone else has a chance to win. They're going to take a minute to put in their final guesses. When everyone is ready, you'll reveal your player boards, and flip over the 5 cards in the secret recipe. The player with the most correct guesses wins, and if more than one player is tied, all tied players win. As strategy goes, you'll need to pay attention to everything people learn and learn what you can from their questions and their answers. The game really rewards observational skills and scratches the same itch as a Sudoku puzzle or a logic puzzle does. Will you deduce the secret recipe first? This is Chris Baki from Intro Games showing Secret Recipe. Thanks for watching.